Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Atalanta have defeated Roma 2-0, and they have continued their amazing run of a winning streak. It has extended to now 8 games in a row in the league that they have won their games, and they are second in the league, just a point behind Napoli. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. It was a very close game. It was quite a tight game. It was, I would say, it was one of the best defensive performances by Roma, and the unfortunate thing is they still conceded 2 goals, almost 3 goals as well, because one of Atalanta's goal that scored by Lokman in the first half was cancelled because of offside, and still there were so many defensive errors from Roma, and yet that was one of their best performances. They were really good, I would say. I would want to give credit to Ranieri. I think he's trying to shore up the defense. He's trying to make them tight. He's trying to make them hard to beat up, hard to score against, but I don't know what the problem is. I just don't know whether it's the confidence of the players that is down the drain at the moment, that it is not working for him. It has not been a good start for Ranieri. 3 games and 3 defeats for him since he has taken over at Roma, and it was yet another game where they really did not produce anything. If I'm being very honest with you, I said it was a very tight game, it was a very close game, but it was a boring game as well. If I'm being very honest with you, like, there were not many chances created by either of the side. Atalanta had to really dig deep to get this win. In the first half, it was basically Atalanta had a majority of the possession in that first half, trying to create something out of somewhere, some spark from them, that they could go ahead and try to beat down Roma. They had a couple of good chances, but from long range or outside 35 yard 40 yards area, and they try to take their long shots, but they never really threatened Atalanta. They never really tested the goalkeeper, and Atalanta, as I said, they had majority of the possession. They tried to get into the half, try to score the goals, but it did not just happen. Lukman got the goal, but it was disallowed in the first half. You go to the second half, and it was more or less the same, where Atalanta had the majority of the possession. They are trying to create their chances, and they're trying to get closer to the goal. And as the game went by, you could see that Roma started to go deeper into their half as Atalanta piled on the pressure. The substitutions made by the manager was quite surprising. I mean, he took off all his 3 strikers in Lukman, Ratogogi, and Delacatre. All of them were taken off. It felt like he was, Agosepeni was quite annoyed and quite disappointed with his front 3. He made the changes, and that those changes worked in his favor. Not long after, the captain, De Viron, he scores that first goal. It was a big stroke of luck for Atalanta. It gets deflected by a Roma player and right in the back of the net. But I would say that it was a deserved goal for them. They deserve to go ahead, because they were the only team that was playing in that second half, in the first half as well, but more in the second half. I mean, in the second half, Roma barely did anything to assert themselves in that game. They did anything to create in that game. Atalanta were all over them. But the thing was, Atalanta today were, what's the word I want to use? They were not really that productive. They really did not create that much. I just don't know, because it was because of how tight and how compact in a way Roma were, or Roma wanted to frustrate Atalanta, and for a long period of time they were able to frustrate whatever Atalanta was trying to do. Roma just came in and they stopped them, whether it was through tough challenges, whether it was through fouls, or whether it was through a good interceptions and whatnot. They just did not let Atalanta have that creative freedom, that the flair that Atalanta play with that Atlanta have played with throughout the season. Roma just did not let them have that much courtesy. The moment that first goal goes in, then the games sort of shifts, because then Roma had to go out and had to get that equalizer. But they because you are playing for 70 minutes, you have played with a mindset that you need to defend. That was the entirety of their game plan, that we somehow have to defend. The moment that goes in, and you are expected to go out and attack and try to score a goal, that it becomes becomes really hard, especially for a team who are already down and out. It was going to be very hard. They tried to create, but as I say, it was nothing. It was not a good chances, and they barely did anything even after that goal. And Atalanta was still the team that were in command. They were in control, especially after getting that goal. They had that confidence back. They knew they were gonna go ahead and win another game. It was going to be an eight wins for them. They had that confidence, and they made sure of it, getting the goal in that 90th minute. It becomes a 2-0, and the game was done and dusted. 8 wins in a row for Atalanta. Amazing run that they are on, and they are really challenging for that title. Napoli, they are just a point behind Napoli. And Napoli know they cannot really afford any mistakes, because there are teams right below it, and Atlanta are one of those teams. I am really happy now, because I predicted just before the season. You can go ahead and check my predictions. I said Atlanta are going to win the league this year. I said that with full chest. I said they are going to be the winners of Serie A, and the way that they are playing, they might end up shocking everybody and go on to win the league. Yeah, amazing run and amazing performance yet again. And this is one of those games that this is a mark of champions, that they really did not play that they are expected to play. The performance was not that good, but they still ended up scoring 2 goals, and they ended up not letting them not conceding a single goal, and ended up getting a 3 points. So that's one of the biggest marks of a champion team, that no matter what the circumstances are, you go ahead and you get the job done. Roma, on the other hand, I mean, it is disaster after disaster for them. I mean, I already made a separate video when they sacked the previous manager, and now they brought in Ranieri. I said it was a disaster then, and now the disaster has continued. 3 games in, Ranieri has not done anything different than what the other managers were doing. They are dropped down to 15. I mean, they're just a couple of points ahead of 18th place Como. That's how bad the season is going. 4th defeat in a row in the league. If you count the Europa League game, it is like a fifth defeat in a row. I mean, it is not really working out for Roma. They are all over the place. It is, to be very honest with you, beyond disgraceful at the moment what the club is going through. It's such a big club, not just in Europe, but in not just in Italy, but in Europe, and it is known worldwide as well. So for them to go through this, I don't know what is happening. The main thing, I would still say that it's not the. I get that the major problem are the owners, and it's the behind the scenes stuff, but on the pitch you need to do something. You need to show something to the fans that you still care about it. But the players, I don't know, like it is they are not showing that they care about it. And the manager Ranieri, it's still it's early days for him. Like, his first week was really tough, so he would hope, and the club would hope, and the fans would hope, now that the big games have gone by, he can concentrate on the next games, and try to get some points, and try to get the club away from this relegation. I mean, I thought they were going to challenge for the European places. They had such a good summer in the transfer window, and I thought that's what they were going to have a really good season. It has gone terrible for them, and it continues to get terrible for them. So the only possibility, it cannot there's a saying that it cannot get worse than this. I think Roma fans would hope that that saying comes true for them, that it cannot get worse, than it has to get better some way, and they would hope that it starts getting better from next weekend. Because if, like it, as I said, they're just 2 points away from Como, who are on 18th, and somehow if they lose the next game as well, they might be in the relegation zone at the end of the next match. And that is something that you would never really have thought about it. So yeah, a lot to ponder about for Roma and Ranieri, and a lot to celebrate for Giuseppe and Atalanta at the moment. That's it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you guys think of Atalanta's performance. They're amazing, and do you think they are they can sustain it? Do you think they can go on until a match date, and somehow can they win the title or not? Let me know in the comment section below. And what about Roma? What do they have to do to to get away from this these circumstances? What Ranieri has to do to bring Roma back to in the top of, at least make sure that they don't relegate it this season, because the way they are playing, it is looking like they are going to win the relegation battle. Let me know in the comment section below. I like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of this year, so please go ahead and subscribe to it. And until next time, bye bye.